All right, hi guys. As I mentioned, I wanted to check back in. Hopefully, it kind of seems like, based on again what I'm seeing over here in the to-do list and sort of seeing the numbers populating through, most of you have moved through week one pretty flawlessly, right? So again, hopefully by now you have been aware that, of course, first and foremost, any way that I can communicate to you, anywhere that I can actually touch base with you, whether that's check out the school video, change to an assignment due date, change in directions, something has been moved, et cetera, announcements, right? This is the only place that I'm going to be able to give you that information appropriately and quickly. So, not just for me, but for all your classes, I highly recommend once a week, go in and just check out what's going on. Because especially this first week or first and second week, now we had a holiday, right? We're still kind of in summer mode a little bit, especially as we're coming back, and even as professors do. I hate to admit it, but it's the truth, right? We're being bombarded right now with a bunch of emails and meetings and, introductory boards, and you're signing up for this and make sure you're registering for that. And then you've got all the stuff from student affairs and academic affairs and all of this stuff that's kind of coming through. So again, my suggestion would be just come check the announcement section once a week. Make sure you didn't miss anything, right? Mostly I will try to be communicating with you guys via video. Um, that might not be every single week, but as much as I possibly feel is necessary to give you the right information. Okay, so moving on. Again, hopefully you've downloaded a copy of the syllabus, you've sort of moved through. I can see that because most of you have answered discussion board 0 and discussion board 1, you have moved through all of the background information. I also want to pause and simply just say thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you that are reaching out, asking questions, having concerns, you are doing so in a very professional manner. You thankfully have read through my appropriate professionalism. I greatly appreciate you. I respect you. I will see you and I will meet you in that respect as well. So thank you very much for that. Okay, we have moved through the welcome back week. Again, textbooks and readings, right? I've put in a little bit of some introduction. I've put in a couple of videos about urban ecology. Sometimes the videos that I find on the internet are just going to do a better, more awesome job at introducing a topic, or they show you some really cool video footage of something, or there's a news article that touches base on what we're sort of going through. So again, I try to pull in those video resources because yeah, we aren't in class going over through these things. And so there's some things that are going to be lost. So I want to make sure I'm holding your attention to these topics that are really important. Okay, so now we are probably fully aware week 2, module 2 has opened and it's a big one. But let's go through just quickly what's in here and kind of how the layout for all the modules going forward, including the projects, right? Because I told you that I will absolutely be gearing up to speak to you about the NGO project very shortly, because that will be the first big project you'll have to do. So I want to set it up for, again, each chapter. This just happens to be that we're smushing 2 chapters into 1 week because the first week I give you guys some space, some grace, get signed up, get comfortable, right? But now we're sort of hitting the ground running. Those first 2, urban ecology, what is urban ecology? Both of those would give you good context. This is probably just another version of that. I love TED Talks. I love good animation. I love when there is this opportunity to make something that you might not find fascinating to be incredibly engaging. I myself might not be a video gamer, but boy, do I have such an appreciation for the story of a game or how the graphics help to tell that story of a game, right? And so as a scientist, as a person who loves the sciences, any way that I can bring information to you, or that somebody else has been super creative at bringing to the forefront, That's my goal. I want to make sure to be like, check out how awesome this is. So this week you're moving through two major chapters that are setting us up for the rest of the semester. Of course, first and foremost, what is urban ecology? The what, where, how, why, right? What does the urbanization mean? What does the future of urban environments mean as we have moved from local communities, local cities, towns, to large urban populaces, to globalization? I mean, we are a global community at this point. You can talk to people in any continent at any point in time, right? You can get information, news, you can see social media posts, you can see the trends, all of that. So we are a global society, and those urban environments are getting bigger and bigger and bigger in countryside, nature, towns, landscapes that are outside of those areas, outside of the urban populace. Urban sprawl is continuing to grow. If you have grown up in Texas your whole life, right? North of Dallas, Plano, Frisco, look at how much they're exploding because of the organizations and the corporations and the businesses that are being drawn there, which builds the houses, which builds the entertainment, which builds the restaurants, and so on and so forth, right? And so nature gets further away in the traditional sense, but nature is still very much intertwined into those areas. And a good urban designer is going to make sure to continue to include adding in nature, right? Those are important features. We need that connection piece. So you'll move through that. You'll also notice that I have PowerPoints for you. Sometimes the PowerPoints do a really nice job of just taking the language that would have been in the context of the chapter, because sometimes the chapters are pretty dry. I get that. All I wanted to point out to you is that you'll need to first enable editing, and then you'll need to enable the content because I've got some videos in here. If you want to review these videos that I have embedded for you, the way that you'll do it, right? If you moved into here, you'll see a play button. You might be able to play it from here based on the update, but most likely, oh, actually, you can get updated, which is fantastic. And so again, this is just a repeat of the video that I put into the link into the module. But there are other ones that are also kind of embedded into here too. In the past, you used to have to be able to put it into presentation mode in order for you to be able to hit play. So I'm glad that they've updated that feature. Because students would be like, all I'm seeing is a big box. Oh, I don't know how to click on the Dr. Varga. So I'm glad that they fixed that. So again, when I used to teach this face to face, and there's still ways I'm considering of maybe even going back to that because I kind of missed it. Is that again, we talk through we talk through the chapters, we set up this dynamic of kind of moving through the material, and I really try and propose a lot of different questions to think about that probably we would have had an open dialogue in class about. So again, if this is helpful to you, fantastic. If the book is what is best for you to be able to answer discussion boards or answer the projects, totally fine too, right? Online, self-paced, self-guided courses kind of are a choose your own adventure, right? You are choosing what works best for you. So we've got that. We've got, usually, again, I'm going to try and introduce each chapter with a little bit of a video just to give you some prep and context, at least something to view that relates to this material. And then, of course, you will have a discussion board that is associated with this. So you will need to finish through chapters 1 and 2. I also have for you, again, some different due dates. Most everything will be due on Sundays, except for because I smushed 2 chapters together this coming week because we lost with the holiday and I wanted to make sure you guys had time to get situated. You will see that discussion board 2 is due next Wednesday. So again, I'm giving you till Sunday to do discussion board 1, and then you'll have discussion board 2, and then discussion board 3 on Sunday again. but then it'll go back into the natural swing. And so again, it's kind of stacked up on the front side so that we kind of ease our way back in. The next big thing that's coming up, again, I am just finalizing some little bit of some changes I've made from what I remembered learning last time when I did the NGO project with students. I'm modifying some of the directions to be a little bit more straightforward. But again, you have your NGO application coming up that's going to be due by the end of this month. And I'll speak to, again, what's the goal of this project? What are the directions? What are you specifically supposed to do? What are you turning in? How are you engaging with your classmates? Because we want to retain that. And so read through, stay on top of, look at your calendar, right? Work ahead on those discussion boards. You've got to over the next week. Probably by the end of this week, the next chapter, so chapter 3, which we will do next Sunday, and all of that material will start to open. And I will also have the NGO project, at least the directions and everything up for you, as well as a video. So all that to say, I'm just touching base, coming back in, checking in, saying hello. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please make sure to reach out to me. Again, you can always come and visit me if you are on campus as well. All right, take care, guys. Have a great rest of your week.